Hi guys, it's reaction time. It's a fucking big one as well. It's Alter Bridge and Pawns and Kings. October the 14th, the album comes out. This is the title track. So, title track, you got to have something epic. Surely it's going to be something epic because it is over 6 minutes long, but that's sort of normal for Alter Bridge now, I believe. You know, 6, 7, 8 minute songs. But yeah, I mean, been waiting in anticipation to listen to the new stuff from Alter Bridge. Obviously, let me tell you a little bit about my history with Alter Bridge if you're interested at all. So, really got into Alter Bridge from the beginning, really. Mainly, you know, the first two albums, One Day Remains and Blackbird, were massive parts of my life. Alter Bridge were my favourite band for a long time. And I just think they got better and better, leading up to a point, in my opinion, by the way, because, you know, usually a band, every album ain't usually your favourite every time it comes on. So you've got to have favourite albums. But I just think they did no wrong. They did absolutely no wrong up to a point. And that point for me was Fortress. You know, One Day Remains was just amazing. Then they went a bit heavier. With Blackbird, which was just a belter of an album. The third Alter Bridge album was probably my favourite album. It still is my favourite album of Alter Bridge. And then we had Fortress. They was at their peak still on Fortress. You know, that's just a monumentous album, you know, that was critically acclaimed, and why not? It should have been. It was almost like their peak. They'd hit this sort of peak of perfection. Brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So up to that point, Alter Bridge were my favourite band. I've seen them more times than any other band. I think the first time I saw them was on the Blackbird tour, and then I just had to watch them every time they come over to the UK. And also, I mean, I saw them in my best concert going experience was seeing Alter Bridge at the Royal Albert Hall. I went to see them on the second night they were there, and of course that was recorded as well. I've got it on Blu-ray. It's just an amazing concert to watch, reliving it. The best concert I've ever been to. Just amazing. So the album that came before the Royal Albert Hall performance was obviously The Last Hero. And that album for me, I didn't like as much. I'm not saying it's a bad album either. I'm not saying Walk the Sky was also a bad album. But I think, you know, with Alter Bridge, I've come to expect so much that maybe, you know, they were a bit of a disappointment for me. I don't know. It almost sounded like they were trying to get that full orchestra experience. And they did, especially with Walk the Sky, with every song. It just, I want something a bit more stripped down. I'm sort of hoping with this new song and the new album, I'm not saying to go back and emulate what they've had before. I'm just saying to give me a more stripped down thing, something that I'm used to with Alter Bridge. You know, I think they've lost some of that along the way. Not to say they're a bad band, by the way, and I know that Alter Bridge fans, and I'm one of them, you know, are very protective. You know, the bigger a band gets sometimes, the more protective the fans get, and they can't do no wrong. But I'm just saying it how I see it. I like them still. I love those first 4 albums. I still like the other 2 albums. I just didn't like them as much. I mean, there's a good chance this won't even make YouTube, because the last time I reacted to a Miles Kennedy song, it completely got blocked in every country. So I'm probably wasting my fucking time even talking right now. You know, you Alter Bridge fans are probably thinking, you shut the fuck up anyway. But if you're watching this, it means it's uploaded, obviously. And I've really been looking forward to this to see what I'm going to get. I must say, I've been saying for a while now, I think that they need to get a different producer. Elvis Baskett, I think that's his name. I think for me he's overstayed his welcome a little bit. I'm not saying he's a bad producer, because if you actually listen to the last Tremonti album, it's one of the best albums I've ever heard. So he's done something right there. But with Alter Bridge, I think they need to change their producer. I really do. That's just my opinion. I don't like his production anymore. I don't think it's clear enough. It's a bit muddy. I can't hear every instrument like I want to hear it. Basically, you know, I know producing albums and the sound of albums is very... It's a point of view as well. It's an opinion. So that's just my opinion, that they don't sound very good anymore. The last two albums especially. So, Pawns and Kings, I've spoken enough. Here we go. Alter Bridge, Pawns and Kings.
Tear down the walls and show your courage as you heed the call, embarking on the journey yet to come. There is no time to waste, the wretched and the heartless take your future if you let. There will be time. Stand up and hold your ground, don't let the bastards grind you down. It's time to show the devil what we are. Surrender nevermore, though deep inside we're battle worn. We'll never let them tear this land apart. No, for all of the hope that it brings, and the weapons, we could be kings if we believe. Against our lies, we will survive. Release the hounds of doom, unsheath the blade, we cannot lose. We're fighting for the only thing we know. And when it's said and done, our victory is gained for long. A worthy sacrifice of flesh and blood. For all of the hope that it brings, and the weapons, we could be kings if we believe. Against our odds, we will survive. The last shall be first. Give it time. If in the end we're still alive, our victory will prove in time that we were right along. We must stand up tall that we are. We must fight till the dawn, till the last of that kind of God.
Gonna give it a quick stop there, guys. If you don't watch the channel, always do it halfway through. Just something I fucking do to give my opinion so far. So there's stuff I like about it and stuff I don't. I like the chorus. I think the chorus is outstanding. It sounds huge. It's soaring. It's everything on this is typical Alter Bridge, I think. You know what I mean? You can never listen to this and think it's anyone else. I mean, there's some distinctive things that happen with Alter Bridge. It's the riffing. It just sounds typical Alter Bridge. Miles Kennedy's vocals, of course. You know, there's loads of things where this, if you put this on and you didn't know a new song was out today, it came on, that's Alter Bridge. There's no mistaking. It's fucking Alter Bridge. Miles' voice, you know, he's an outstanding singer. You know, I think he's probably the best singer of our time. I just love his voice. There's something that grates me a tiny bit about the way he sings now. And I know this is going to upset some people, but he has got a sort of, and I've always said it, since he's worked with Slash, he's got this thing about the way he sings. And I think he's got this, I'm not saying he sounds like Axl Rose, by the way, you know, he's a much better singer and he always has been, but he's always, the way he pronounces lyrics, you know, the way he sings lyrics, he's almost got this sort of way he sings sometimes, like the way he said pawns then. Pawns, he does it a lot, and he probably, don't know if he knows he's doing it, but I notice it more and more because I'm looking out for it, and maybe I shouldn't, but he never used to sing, especially on the first 3 albums, didn't sing like that. So around about that time, I think the 3rd album, he started working with Slash, or before that, and then since then he's had this sort of Axl whine on some of the lyrics, and he doesn't need to do it because he just fucking doesn't, because he's so amazing. So that's one thing. It's just a bugbear I've got. I wish he, you know, would. And sometimes I think the band, although I appreciate they want to do other stuff, sometimes when you work with other musicians and sing certain songs or whatever, that can carry over to other bands. Tremonti, you know, it's got better and better, in my opinion. I was speaking to my mate Kev the other day, big Alter Bridge fan, big Tremonti fan, and we both agreed that Tremonti, for me and him, has sort of taken over Alter Bridge. Almost I prefer Tremonti, especially the last album at the moment, to Alter Bridge, and I was sort of hoping that would change. I'm hoping it will change with this new album. It almost feels like this song's a bit of a mix and match of different stuff. And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, guys, that they worked separately, and I don't know if that shows. It sort of almost shows the verses sound a bit disjointed. I don't really like the first part of the verses where you've got the and then that sort of broken up riffing. Don't really like that part of it. It's almost like they try to be epic with everything. You know, sometimes there's no need for it to be 6 minutes and something long, or 7 or 8 minutes. And I think they've started this this problem, in my opinion, since the last Hero album, where if you're going to do a 7-8 minute song, it's got to do things within that song, not just be long. It's got to go somewhere. It's got to be epic and feel epic. And I think they almost are doing long songs for the sake of it sometimes. You know, it doesn't need to be like that. If you're going to do an epic 8-minute song, the twists and turns need to be all over the place, you know, to keep you interested. And they do that as well now, by the way, but it seems like they you know, they're making a habit of having these songs that are 6, 7, 8 minutes long. And I've never had a problem with long songs, as long as it's, you know, things happen within the song that keep my interest. I'm not saying that ain't gonna happen yet, because I'm only halfway through. I'm 2.5 minutes out of 6 minutes, so this could go anywhere, this song, and it probably will. But I don't know, the production, I don't like it. I just don't. I don't like the drum sound. The snare drum feels as if it's almost non-existent. I want to hear that thumping like the fuck through this song. Almost feels like it's being tapped. And what a great drummer they've got in the band. But it almost feels like it's just like almost being tapped. The bass drum sounds almost louder. The kick drum, sorry, sounds almost louder than the snare, or almost on the same level. And I want to hear a snare drum that just snaps the fuck out of it and is so loud. And there's some, what's annoying is there's such a fucking good band, and there's bands out there that are self-producing with a better sound than this. It's a fucking shame, and there's been loads of complaints, and I join that group of people about the production on Alter Bridge Records, but they don't want to know. It's fucking Elvis Basquet all the way through it. Basquet, whatever his name is. You know, and what's the annoying thing as well, we just produced Tremonti's album and it sounded fucking huge. And now I'm listening to Alter Bridge and it sounds like the last album did. Anyway, so the good things about it is the chorus is fantastic. Miles has got an amazing voice, by the way. I wish to stop with the a little bit. Upsetting people probably, but remember, I'm a massive Alter Bridge fan, and I just want them to produce brilliant music all the time. It's good, but it's not getting me, not as it used to. Here we go for the rest. Here we go. Well, I've got to say the second half, fucking pretty epic. I mean, it changed up. Love that heavy middle part. That was just brilliant. Love the solo as usual. I mean, these guys are the fucking best in the business when it comes to, you know, guitaring. And I love the chorus. So, you know, it was almost like the second half was a mixture, wasn't it, of when it changed up, it was heavier, and then the brilliant chorus, which I think is a good chorus anyway, played it out. So the second half almost sort of, you know, it really fucking got me, the second half, much more than the first. So, I mean, it's a bit weird, isn't it? Because a lot of that second half obviously was instrumental. But yeah, I mean, look, it was good. It grew on me as well. And it might even grow on me even more. You know, I thought a lot of the Walk the Sky album was pretty good. And it sort of got me more at the beginning to listen to it. And I sort of I got to my doubt after a little while. At the beginning, I thought, oh yeah, this is fucking brilliant. And then it quickly sort of wore off into a bit like The Last Hero did. So, you know, I'm hoping this sort of more enough goes the other way, and it takes a bit of time. Sometimes the best albums are growers, aren't they, where you first hear it and you're not sure, and then all those melodies and those nuances come through and it becomes your best album. So the second half was absolutely brilliant. Loved that. Production's poor in my opinion, and it has been that way, I think, since The Last Hero, but that's just, you know, that's just my opinion. It is only an opinion, remember, guys. I mean, I don't want to upset people, because you guys know as well, I don't usually put negative reviews out. I only put negative reviews out if I think that it doesn't hurt the band in any way whatsoever, because I'm a nothing YouTuber. So what I say about Alter Bridge doesn't mean a fucking thing. You know, it really fucking doesn't. If I say something about a band that's just brought their first record out, that might mean a bit more, because, you know, that does. I mean, you should never be negative towards new bands that are trying to make it. It's best to say nothing than something negative, in my opinion, when it comes to new bands. But, you know, Alter Bridge is such a big band for me. I had to listen to this. I had to give my honest opinion, like I always do. So I'll be really fucking surprised, Teacher, if you're actually watching this. It probably won't even upload. That's just what happens. YouTube does it. So there you go. Thank you very much, guys, for listening. Let me know what you think of this new Alter Bridge song, especially compared, maybe. Do you think it sounds better than we had on the last two albums? Perhaps the last two albums are your favourite albums of Alter Bridge. Like I said, it's only an opinion, guys. Let me know, and I'll see you soon.